James Loney, our guest. He is the author of Captivity. It's a story of his capture in Iraq and Baghdad, 118 days of captivity. One of you didn't live to tell the tale. The American former military man, Tom. The day they took him away, did you have a sense you would never see him again, or that they were going to kill him, or that they were releasing him?
The captors set it up a couple of days in advance. They said that the news is good, you will be released. We are going to take you in the trunk of a car, one by one. And we will take you to the first house that we were initially held at. And then we will release you. We will give you some shower, take some picture, we will release you. And we were very excited because this was the first specific information, and we thought, okay, finally.
Yes.
And so that the day came, and Tom gathered up his clothes, and they handcuffed his arms behind his back, and then led him away out of the room. And then the next, we were just waiting and waiting. It was one of the hardest times of waiting for them to come back to take the rest of us. And any kind of movement was always scary because we never knew what was going to happen.
There's so many fibs and lies and promises and broken promises.
Yeah.
And even though you had a bit of a Stockholm syndrome at times with some of the captors and could connect human to human, you still couldn't trust anyone.
We couldn't trust anything that they...
Or anything.
We would want to, but we couldn't really, yeah.
Were you worried about your sexuality, the fact that you're a gay man and that you had a partner at home waiting for you? And I know the Canadian press tried to keep a lid on that, the world tried to keep a lid on that, fearing that you would be killed not because you were a Canadian, but because you were gay.
Yeah, it's a remarkable thing that never became public, and which I'm very grateful for, that it would have, I think, made the circumstances of my captivity much harder. It's hard to know how, but it would not have helped. And gay men had been, after the fall of the Saddam regime, gay men were beginning to be targeted and as a kind of social cleansing. Very
much so. The day of your rescue, did you have any idea what was going on? You heard some noise, I'm sure, but what did you think was happening?
At first, I was awake. It was about 7:15. The captors were never up before 9:30 or 10, and I heard the door close, and I thought, oh, it should close again. Like they should just step out, maybe I don't know, have a smoke or whatever, but do something, come back. The door never closed, and then we heard this kind of an engine sound, like of a tank, and so I woke up Harmeet and said, "There's something weird going on." And then we heard boots on the ground and doors, glass smashing, British voices, "Open the door, open the door."
British voices.
British voices, accent. And then concussion grenades, sort of explosions on the main floor. And that was a moment of sheer terror because we didn't know, are the captors still in the building? Are they going to come up and use us as human shields? Are they going to kill us? Is there going to be explosion, some kind of explosion coming in through the window? And so it wasn't until we heard them coming up the stairs that we knew we were safe, and we called out, "We're British, we're Canadian, we speak English."
And it must have been amazing when you arrived at the British ambassador's place. The contrast, the first shower, the food. How long did it take you to even get it, that you were safe?
I felt, when I finally felt really safe is when I got home and I could be with my friends in Canada. But it was amazing, like, it was just over, and I was so happy. And things were happening so fast, and I just wanted to stop and look at a leaf for like hours, or look at the sky.
What did it teach you about life, about human-to-human contact, about how you want to live your life?
I felt like I learned a lot, and one of the things summarizes sort of the whole experience for me. We had to, we had this pop bottle that we would pee in from time to time, and being in the handcuffs left and right, it was difficult to pee into a pop bottle, and it's a kind of a narrow opening, and so one day we were using this pee bottle, and things didn't line up exactly right, and we ended up with a mess of urine on the floor. We used our rag to clean it up, put it on the back of a chair, and then it would just be cleaned out the next time we went to the bathroom. A couple of hours goes by, and the captor we called Uncle came with lunch. It was always an Iraqi bread called a samoon, very nice when it was fresh, usually with a little handful of rice or 3 French fried potatoes in it. And that day was eggplant, and it was eggplant, of course, is a bit greasy and oily, and he was on his had grease on his fingers. So he gives us our lunch, and then he's looking around the room. Oh, what do I do with my greasy fingers? And he sees the rag, and he goes and he wipes his hands in our urine rag. And it really struck me like we didn't plan that, and he didn't intend it. We didn't. I would never have wanted him to do that.
A little bit of just revenge.
Well, it was more like that's what happens when we enter into a relationship of oppression, of violence, domination with another person or group, that we end up soiling ourselves in what we do. So it was like when we do violence to others, we harm ourselves.
So it did not in any way quell your passion for peace?
The experience? No, I think it, I felt like that peace is the most important thing. It's the birthright of every human being. It's the first human right. We can't have anything without peace. We can't have anything if we don't have peace.
I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Fanny.
Captivity, James Loney.